we are.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gabagalooza here on this fantastic Monday evening on February 6th. And let me tell you, it's a great day. How long has it been, Mr. Murph Dog?
Oh my god, dude. It is, I want to say, man, this has to be like 5 years in the making?
If that. I mean, 6 maybe. It's been a long time we've been talking about doing this podcast. This is going to be a variety podcast. You know, we're going to be talking about a bunch of different things. Sports is probably going to be our biggest topic that we're going to talk about. We're also going to be talking about gaming, anime, TV, movies, kind of just a good gist of everything.
Yeah.
So, let's get a little bit of ourselves, a little bit of an intro here, because, you know, not many people, I'm sure, know much about us. I mean, I'm sure a bunch of people know about us.
Yeah. So, the majority of people watching this show.
My host, Murph Dog, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I am the Murph Dog. That is my gamer tag pretty much everywhere. A little bit about myself. I mean, about the topics that we're talking about. We're basically an entertainment variety stream. And as you can see at the bottom of your screen, we got gaming, sports, anime, and movies.
Yes.
Sports, I mean, I'm a baseball guy. I love hockey too, and football. And basketball is probably at the bottom, but I do still like basketball a lot. Teams-wise, baseball, I'm a Mets fan. I mean, gotta love them Mets. I do support the San Francisco Giants as well because my brother plays for the San Francisco Giants, but more on that later. Hockey, I just like hockey. I like to watch the Islanders, I like to watch the Rangers, and even the Sabres a little bit. So, really, hockey, I'm kind of just an all-around guy. I know more hockey than out of all of our friend group. I think I'm the one who knows hockey the most.
I would say you and Dad, yeah, for sure.
But not that much. I will say that. I will say that. I will give myself the benefit of the doubt there. But football, Packers fan. Love the Packers. Go Pack, go. And basketball, New York Knicks, baby. And yeah, mostly that's the teams that I would like to be discussing on the show because they're my favorite. And obviously we'll give an all-around, our opinions about what's going on in the actual sport itself rather than just our teams circulating that way. Animes, I know we're going to talk about animes a lot.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what kind of genres are you into in TV, movies, anime?
Yeah, I ever since you guys really pretty much gotten me into anime and slow-mo and a bunch of other people have gotten me to anime as well. I mean, favorites right now are obviously My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer. I can't wait for season 3 to come out. My Hero's season 6 is crazy. Yep. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, Demon Slayer will be coming out soon, and obviously Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball a lot.
Yeah, how could you not go wrong with Dragon Ball?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you can't.
That is the GOAT of all anime. I mean, correct?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't deny
so
you can't deny that. Yeah, it's old compared to like Pokemon. Dragon Ball's older than Pokemon, right?
I believe so.
I
believe Pokemon came out in 98.
Yeah, because Dragon Ball came out like a decade earlier. That came out in the 80s, like mid 80s.
Yeah. God, that's funny. We both met Christopher Sabat, who voices multiple different characters across different animes, primarily Vegeta and All Might in My Hero and in Dragon Ball. How old do you think Chris Sabat is?
I can't tell with his voice, man. He has such a beautiful voice. I want his voice so badly.
You're not wrong.
I couldn't give you an age, but he's timeless. And same thing with Shemmel. We met Shemmel as well.
And they both look like they're pretty young.
Yeah, seriously. And they sound like they're young. They don't sound any different than what they had started with in Dragon Ball. So.
Yeah, yes indeed.
They're blessed.
Well, shoot. So, genre of some TV and movies.
I mean, TV, movies, I'm pretty much general. Like, I love comedies and I love action. That's pretty much my go-tos. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, with movies, I love action movies. I love we love the Marvel series.
Yep.
And a little DC as well. And just a smattering of others. I mean, we'll talk about pretty much any movie.
Yeah.
Also, going into our next topic for gaming, there is a movie of gaming coming out pretty soon. The new Super Mario movie.
Yes, there is.
I'm gonna watch that, and I'm gonna see that.
I'll say this. I think if you don't go and watch it, there's something got to be wrong. A little bit. You know, just Mario is so nostalgic. I mean, for most of our parents, you know, they grew up playing that stuff. You know, so it's, you know, most of them have nostalgia towards it too.
Yeah,
and I mean, not just us.
Yeah, I mean, my dad played Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
He said his favorite game in the arcades when he played in the 80s, it was Donkey Kong.
The Donkey Kong with the barrels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the original Donkey Kong. He said he said he kicked ass at that game. Like, he was like, I don't want to brag, but I kicked ass at that game. But yeah, and going into gaming as well, I'm pretty much a variety as well. I stream on Twitch. He does sometimes, not a whole lot.
I tell you what, I have not streamed in a long time.
In a long time. We'll have a guest on here named Snowmo. He streams a lot as well. We do a variety of games. Like, we'll play FPS, which is first-person shooter. We'll play survival. We'll play sports. We love sports games. You know, we got MLB, Madden, and NHL. We love to play in NBA. You know, first-person shooters like Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever.
Yep.
And I mean, we love playing GTA. You know, just fun, stupid shit fun, stupid 20-year-olds like to do. So
yeah, amen to that. Well, I tell you a little bit about myself.
Yes, please.
Mr.
Enough about me. What about you?
Is my title, my tag, I guess you could say, and you know, I'm very similar to Murph Dog. We met a long time ago back in daycare.
Beth.
I would say, yeah, Beth. Shout out Beth, the goat. What, we were 2 and 3 maybe at that time?
Yeah,
3,
something
4,
like that.
Something like that.
3 or 4.
It was a long time ago. Yeah, but we both have pretty much similar interests. You know, comedy and action is a real go-to of mine. Sports-wise, I do watch all the sports, at least relatively. I don't watch particularly much soccer. I watch the World Cup, but you know, that's pretty much everybody. And then, you know, I really enjoy baseball, football, basketball, and hockey. I would say I'm, you know, both on the fence with. I like both, but I don't follow them nearly as much as I do the other two. I'm a Colt fan, Indianapolis Colts fan for football, and a New York Yankee fan. Now, I will say I am not one of the typical Yankee fans. He's not one of the typical Met fans. I root for the Mets. I will gladly say I would root for the Mets all day, every day. Mm-hmm. Now, if it was a Subway Series, fuck the Mets. But
and on my part, fuck the Yankees in the Subway Series.
But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, we support each other. You know, we're not dicks to each other like that. I mean, there's no point. You know, like just living
for real.
Living in a society like that, at least for us anyway, we don't see the point in being rivals like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, we kind of just, you know, stick by each other and just support each other, you know.
I mean, shoot, last year I went to more Mets games than I did Yankee games.
You did go to more Met games than Yankee games. I took you to a bunch.
Yeah.
I did take you to a decent amount.
Man.
We're definitely going back this year. That's for damn sure. We're going back this year. I'm still on the fence, but I possibly may get that 20-game plan. I'm not going anywhere.
Going to anime, you know, I'm a real big fan of, you know, shonen type anime, you know, Naruto and Full Metal Alchemist. They're two of my favorite animes of, you know, all time. I could talk about them for hours on end. So, you know, if you like those, let me know and we could have a good discussion. But, I mean, until further notice, I mean, you ready to move to our first topic?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, folks, we are exactly 6 days away from the Super Bowl, and I tell you what, I think it's going to be a good game. I can't say that it won't be. Mm-hmm. You're looking at an explosive team in the Philadelphia Eagles, and you're looking at possibly, if he wins this Super Bowl, one of the greatest quarterbacks, you know, to walk the earth, in Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. It's still early in his career, but he's been to I believe every year he's been into a conference championship.
Every year to a conference championship. I think ever since he's been in the NFL.
You know, and I'm not entirely sure if his rookie year was in a conference championship, but hey, we got Kansas City Chiefs against the Philadelphia Eagles in Arizona, and I'm excited. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to this game.
Mm-hmm.
From not only a fan of the football aspect, but from a betting aspect as well. I can't say that I haven't placed a couple bets already, but, you know, definitely looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, now I'll ask you, when it comes down to the Super Bowl, what do you think is going to be the winning thing for both? What do you think is going to be the objective for both teams to really secure a win?
If both their quarterbacks stay in the game. If they're both healthy. We all know that Mahomes is coming off the ankle injury. Even though he looked good in the conference finals game, that's still a factor. Yeah. And you know, Eagles quarterback, he's same. Like, just riddled with injuries, you know. Like,
I mean, you got to think about it. Jalen Hurts was hurt. I believe it was week 15 at the Dallas game. He didn't play the Dallas game, and I don't believe he played the week after as well.
No.
Late in the season. So I will definitely agree with you. Both quarterbacks staying in the game is going to really come down to it. I mean, I've seen footage and, you know, practice footage at least of Mahomes running around, jogging around. He looks to be comfortable, looks to be flexible, looks to be pushing off of it.
Yeah.
His leg pretty well, or it's, you know, his foot.
And even with that ankle injury, the way that he throws, it's almost like he doesn't even need that foot.
It's funky with it. He has
such
front-legged. A bazooka.
He has such a bazooka, and he's so front-legged when he throws. He barely uses his back leg whatsoever for support.
Yeah.
So his mannerisms when he throws anyway may actually not matter.
Yeah.
And it was the same in the game before the conference finals where he had that ankle injury against Buffalo, and he was still throwing decently well. Now, mobility is going to be an issue because we know that he likes to run out of the pocket whenever he needs to. So that's when he's going to actually have to have that foot in play. Yep. So, but for me, it's the quarterbacks, man. Both of them got to stay in.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, the card man. Mahomes is...
That's Uncle Joe.
He is magic. Mm-hmm. He is unbelievable. The things that he could do on the field... He doesn't need to look at you to throw the ball.
No.
He can be like over here and throw a perfect accurate pass right to you. And, you know, it doesn't even matter how far away you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one of the things that I'm so looking forward to in this game is because, you know, we got the Philly special. Given that was Doug Peterson and we're now Nick Sirianni for the Philadelphia Eagles coach. But the Eagles and the Chiefs are very well known for having trick plays.
Yeah.
And... the way that, I mean, that Eagles team, they can quarterback sneak for about 15 yards kind of whenever they want to. And Mahomes can kind of scramble for how much whenever he wants to and make a play, you know, excuse my French, but pulling something out of his ass. You know, so I definitely can't wait. And I definitely agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterbacks staying in the game. If Mahomes stays in the game, I think they'll be able to compete. But then it comes down to whether or not the Kansas City defense is going to be able to keep up and be able to compete with that Philly offense.
Yeah, no, and they have such a good wide receiver core and everything.
The Eagles, they are stacked on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
They have a very, very well balanced out offense and a well balanced out defense, and it's going to be hard to win against that team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's see. I believe that the Eagles are favored by 1.5 at this point in time.
I think so, yeah, betting wise.
But we can go ahead and just say that it's going to be a close game. Mm-hmm. Yes, they are favored by 1.5 on FanDuel. I can't wait to see this game, folks. It's the Kelce Bowl. It's
yeah, like
Kelce, Travis Kelce.
The Casey Bowl, man, and Travis is he's the best tight end in the game, man.
Yeah.
He really is. If you look, he gets the ball so much more than any other tight end in the game.
You think about it, right? The last couple of years with Patrick Mahomes, he's had Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. This year, since Tyreek Hill has not been playing, right, with that team, and he's been on Miami, Kelsey gets the ball a lot.
He gets the ball way more now.
When they limit Kelsey, and if the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be able to limit Travis Kelsey,
that's one of the other number one things about the Phillies defense is to shut down Kelsey.
Yeah.
They have to lock him down, and
I think that they're going to do a good job of containing Mahomes, and I think they're going to do a really good job of containing Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to double team him every play.
Yep.
Because if it's not going to matter, it's not going to matter when you're up 14 points, right? You can't run the ball and come back.
Yeah.
You're going to have to throw it.
Yeah.
And if Kansas City doesn't have the greatest running offense, but Pacheco is good.
Pacheco's good. I like him.
Pacheco's good.
He's very elusive.
When you're down 14-0, you can't run the ball every play.
Yeah.
They're going to have to move the ball. And I'm sorry, but if you lock up Travis Kelsey and you lock up him scrambling outside the pocket to extend plays, the Eagles win this game, no doubt.
Yeah.
Very easily.
Yeah. But also, it gives Valdez-Scantling more of the opportunity to get the football.
Yes, absolutely.
And he's also
Old
good.
Packer.
He's also good.
Yeah.
Like, he is a sleeper.
Well, he had a great game last week.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was over 108, like 115 yards.
Yeah, something along that nature, man.
But, yeah. I'm excited.
116.
Sunday, be ready for the Super Bowl, the Kelsey Bowl.
The Kelsey Bowl.
Right.
I love that. I love that.
So, I gotta ask, what's your thoughts on Tom Brady calling it quits? Not once, but twice. And finally saying it's for good.
It finally is for good. I think that's all she wrote for Tom. It gives me such Brett Favre vibes. It's almost exactly what he did. He left the team. He left the Packers and, it's like, I'm retiring. And then he goes play for the Jets. And he says, I'm retiring again. But then he came back again for a third time.
And he went with the Vikings, right?
And he went with the Vikings for 2 seasons, I think. And went to the playoffs with the Vikings. Once or twice.
It's ridiculous.
And I think, unfortunately for Brady, I think he's done.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I would say that Brady is definitely done. I just don't see him coming back. Now, there is a possibility in about 3 to 4 months, and Brady, is past the draft. Workouts are just ending, and not spring training, but training camp is just beginning. He might get that itch.
Mm-hmm.
He might just say, one of these teams that needs a quarterback, or one of these teams that's willing to offer me money, so-called New England, I don't doubt.
There was like I think there was like a Make-A-Wish thing where a kid asked if Brady could sign a one-day contract to the Patriots. Like I think he asked the Patriots to offer him a one-day contract so that he could retire as a Patriot.
That's nice. I will say that the opportunity arises for Kraft. I see him doing it. I just see him sending Brady whatever amount of money he wants. You gotta think about it. He sent a very, very heartwarming message to Brady after he retired. Yeah. Not for the first time, but for the second time.
Mm-hmm. I love Manning, Peyton Manning's when he retired, he sent him the letter. And then he came back, but never responded to the letter. And then he goes, they're like, are you going to send him something again? And he's like, hell no, I'm not going to send You already got my first letter. He's going to keep that one. I don't even know if he's read it yet.
Well, hey, the news on Tom Brady is he did sign a long-term, I believe it's a 10-year deal with Fox to announce from 2020, beginning in 2024. Wow. I will say that there is 1 year before that he can do something like that. And I'm sure that Fox will be okay with postponing it to the 2024 beginning season, as in, September. That's, that year, 2024.
Yeah.
That would be a full season that he'd be able to play. He'd be eligible to play. Who knows? He might be the first player to not come back, twice, but 3 times.
3 times.
So,
do it again.
So, we'll leave it at that. But going back to kind of a quarterback needy issue here, I want to ask you this. Being a Packer fan, right? What would you do if you were the GM of the Packers this offseason? Draft-wise, like free agency-wise, what would you do? Because there's a big looming issue of whether or not Aaron Rodgers is going to come back or not.
Yeah, like I'm one of the guys in the fan base who he's not coming back. He's going to be going on some other team, whether it be, and it's really narrowed down to two. I mean, all the rumors are leading it down to the Colts or the Jets. And I am leaning more towards the Jets side because the fact that they signed the offensive coordinator that was from Denver, Nathaniel Hackett, that was originally signed with Denver because originally Rodgers was supposed to go to Denver but stayed in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And now he's in New York. So I think that is a bigger possibility to happen, and also the rumors of the trade that could happen where the Jets would give us their first round pick, which would be great.
Well, I'm sorry. If you trade Aaron Rodgers,
but
you're getting multiple first round
yeah,
picks.
so you're going to get multiple first round picks, which is what I do like, and I'm pretty sure the Jets would be willing to do that. And,
I think so.
And even multiple second round picks too, which wouldn't be bad either. But yeah, like that's really what I'm aiming towards if I were to be the GM of the Packers in that sense. I just like that idea. And also, and another thing, man, Love's our quarterback now. At least I think that's what that's going to be if Rodgers is not a Packer anymore. It's going to be Love now. I just don't know yet. I don't know. He hadn't played enough. I have no idea.
Here's the thing. If you trade your franchise quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, would you consider that as the Green Bay Packers are going into a rebuild? Because David Bakhtiari doesn't have too much left on his deal.
Yeah,
he's getting old.
Yeah, he's going to retire.
Jair Alexander, he's very, very good, and he's young. I believe he still has 2 years left on his contract.
Yeah.
But, you're looking at, Randall Cobb will leave at that point, right? If Rodgers is gone, you're going to have, a very... I don't want to say lackluster team, but you don't have that 2-time MVP anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have that gunslinging great mind quarterback. And he might be old now, but he is still one of the best quarterbacks.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
To walk.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know if you got a glimpse of what Love could do last year at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't look terrible, but you guys also lost to the 1 and whatever seed Detroit Lions that had the second pick in the draft.
Yeah.
So, you guys got some good pieces, some good young pieces. I like Quay Walker, he's middle linebacker for the Packers. I really like him, but it's going to be interesting to see. You guys will have a lot of cap room if you guys get rid of Rodgers.
That is very true.
But at that point, what would you guys do? Quarterback-wise, so would you rather keep Love and maybe draft a compensating quarterback to compete with him a little bit? Or would you possibly just sign like a Baker Mayfield and hope for the best?
I mean, and this is what, remember, man, this is what we said about Rodgers when Favre left, and we all thought Rodgers was going to suck because he just, didn't have really great chemistry with the team, and he didn't play enough. He was basically just sitting and watching Favre play for multiple years, and then he finally comes in and does what he did and win a Super Bowl in 2011. So that could happen with Love.
It's true. Well, I mean, hey, you got to look at it this way. Going and sitting behind and learning, and as much as I watched the Pat McAfee show here on YouTube as well, and I listened to Aaron Rodgers come on, he talks well about Jordan Love. He asks questions. If he's asking questions and really getting to learn his craft and getting examples and learning from Rodgers, that's basically the duplication of Rodgers.
Yeah. Yeah, and by the way, chat, I'm going to fix Nightbot after this stream. It seems that, if you spam anything or capitalize anything, it fucking... Nightbot's annoying, but I will be fixing that after the stream. Don't you worry. Hopefully she got booted. That sucks. Okay. She got timed out for 5 seconds. Sorry, Mom. That's my mom in the chat being timed out because Nightbot being stupid, and there's nothing I can do about it unless there is.
It's just a little AI bot that
Yeah.
spams it spams our Discord server, so you guys can go ahead and hop in and know when we're going live and things of that nature. We'll be making a Twitter soon, by the way. For everyone out there, we'll keep posting on Facebook when we're going live.
Yeah, Nightbot.
Agreed, Mom.
Yeah, but I just turn off Nightbot so you guys can go ham.
Yeah,
But anyway,
that's fine. So, moving into a little bit of a different topic, the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl just ended this weekend, and Derek Carr kind of lit it up.
he did light it up. I heard very much good stuff about Derek
QB
Carr.
accuracy, he was hitting him left and right. He was very, very well. I'm very interested to see where he goes this offseason because there's rumors that he possibly goes to the Jets. There's rumors that he goes to Tampa Bay now.
Yeah.
What does Tampa do that they don't have Brady? There's a lot of aspects of it that we're not entirely sure what's going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see. But Derek Carr lighting up that QB accuracy.
And then the interview.
And then the interview afterwards, he goes, have you ever, the guy interviewing him, great reporter.
Were you ever that hot in Vegas?
I don't think so. That's why I'm moving, or that's why I'm.
He goes, that's why I'm probably going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Straight up, not giving an absolute damn.
I tell you what, that, is a little shiesty as they were in the facility for, the Las
the
Vegas
same
Raiders.
Facility that they're playing
that was
in.
He's the starting quarterback for every year that he's been in, technically as a Raider, when they were in Oakland and now in Vegas. But he's been a starting quarterback for them, and he practically built that facility.
Yeah.
So, that was very funny to see, and I hope he gets all the best. I was able to go to a team, not Green Bay and not Indianapolis, but it's okay. That's fine with me at least. But I gotta actually ask this because besides the Pro Bowl games, like the skills competition that they had for the one day for an hour and a half, how do they fix the Pro Bowl?
How do they fix the Pro Bowl, man?
You gotta think. The skills competition's great, but they have to extend it to some level because the flag football was it was kind of cool here and there, some good shifty plays and everything, but they're not playing with incentive. They're kind of just lollygagaing out there. I'm glad that they made it flag football and not like actual padding football because now necessarily nobody can get seriously hurt unless it's a fluke freak accident.
But also, man, it was just confusing. To the average viewer, it's like, what the fuck are we watching? It
was because they combined the scores for the Pro Bowl games. They had the flag football count for 6, and they said that they were having 3 or 4 games. It was very, very confusing. They got to do something different. I would just, if it was me, I would definitely just go ahead and expand the skills competition. Make it a little bit more, maybe invite a little bit more people, or make, an incentive to where, if your conference wins the Pro Bowl games, if you still want to call it that, you get an incentive of, everybody gets to split, let's just say, $20 million. Right? I don't know. The NFL has a bunch of money. They'd be able to support something like that. The NFLPA would be able to support something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Will they? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I would definitely say that if the NFL was able to put an incentive in there to really compete and try, so we really get what we like. The NFL is entertainment. It's a business too, but it's solely entertainment. So, it's struggling.
It really is. And I'm for one think that they shouldn't even have a Pro Bowl anymore. I think it should. I think it just should be a skills comp.
Yeah.
It should just be the skills comp and hype it the F up.
Yeah.
And expand
Absolutely.
it. Like you said, expand it. Make more challenges for the players to do so that at least they could actually like go almost all out instead of
Yeah.
half-assing it.
Or don't make it 2 days while they're Thursday and a Sunday. You know, do it to where it's like, okay, you do it just on Sunday and it's just 2 hours of skills competitions.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be perfectly fine. I would be okay with that because I'm knowing at that point what I'm getting. Right? I'm not watching to go, I don't really know. I don't really care.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a little buggy when it comes.
Yeah,
to
they don't need a game. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I just don't think they need a Pro Bowl game. They don't.
I will say, so I believe Myles Garrett he broke or fractured his toe in the skills competition, in one of the skills competitions at least. You know, things like that I could understand happening, but hey, if you take out the flag football aspect or just the football part in general, if you take it out, you know, it might hinge from the being of NFL football, but I definitely say it'll secure people to actually be willing to compete because, you know, you might not actually get hurt.
Yeah, and make incentives.
Yeah,
Have prizes at the end for the team that they are representing. Have prizes for the team or for the fans. Do for the fans.
Absolutely. You know? Absolutely. But I'll tell you a sport that does it good when it comes to an all-star game or a Pro Bowl is baseball and the MLB. Because I tell you what, the home run derby, how do you not like the home run derby?
I know. I will say, though, they should have a little more.
They should.
I feel
like they should do a little something beforehand.
I know it's kind of, we look at it as kind of dumb, but in the South Korean leagues, they do like a bunch of like one of their most popular contests is a bunt competition.
Yeah.
And they literally have like things set up to where they got to bunt it into a certain like circle or whatever, and they get a certain amount of points. And it is hyped up there. Like, they take it seriously, and it looks fun. And I actually wouldn't mind seeing, like, something like that. Like, having guys with, like, absolute, who just, you know, like, guys in the home run derby who have pop. Or, like, runner-ups who don't get to the home run derby. They get to do the bunt competition. Or something stupid.
I think that's funny.
Like, it'd be funny. You know what I mean? Like, guys who, like, they almost made it to the home run derby. They got the power numbers, but, you're going to go to the bunt competition.
I mean,
but there's incentives. You get prizes. The teams get prizes, or the fans get prizes.
You know, something that I would also like to point out because, you know, at least when I was a kid growing up and playing baseball, you know, I was always drilled into the defense is perfect kind of mentality. You know, I would like to see them kind of core up because, you know, you get a Gold Glove. That is huge in the MLB, but why not specialize that and throw it in there?
Yeah.
You know, like outfielding competitions or, you know, possibly something else. But you know, I feel like that would be nice. I feel like that would be interesting to have.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I mean, like, you know, like I said, like they could do something defensively too. Like they can do like you know how they do like the kind of like the obstacle competition that they used to have in the NFL. They could do that for like the infielders.
Yeah.
They can do that. Like they have a little like target practice. You can do like you can do like literally just basic drills, but like you got to do it like at a certain time. Like you can do like backhanders and forehanders.
Yeah, you gotta do like a backhand here and then, you know, run to shortstop and then make like a
turn a double play here, throw across the diamond here.
Yeah.
You know,
and
stuff
do that
like,
in like a certain amount of time.
Yeah, and throw at a certain target, and you have to get it there before the time runs out or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
I feel like that would be a really good idea.
That would be fun.
I would love to watch that, honestly, because it kind of reminds me of the NBA with their little obstacle course where they got to pass here, they got to make a layup, they got to, you know, make a free throw, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah, no.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Honestly.
The NBA does do their all-star skill comps too.
They do it very well.
I do enjoy theirs.
And something that they do, well, I guess something that's nice about the NBA's All-Star Game is the defensive aspect of it really isn't there, and the game is insane. You see crazy shots.
You get a score of 158 to 152. Like,
well, I think the last 2 years it's been over 200.
Oh my God, really?
Or it was first to 200.
Holy smokes!
Or something like that. So, yeah, they do it very, very well. But sticking with baseball here, it's crazy off season, huh?
Crazy offseason.
A lot of moves. A lot of movement in the MLB.
There has been an absolute ton, which is great. I mean, you don't really see that very often anymore. Guys are kind of like complacent during the offseason nowadays and usually go all out during the trade deadline.
Yeah, I will say as well, the money that has been being dished out is absurd. It's quite crazy indeed.
Especially for a team that you may all know, who is they're actually not. They're underneath me right now, and that's one of them, or at least a top two that will literally just throw almost any kind of cash at you.
He's talking about like that one right there.
Yeah, the one there, and
the
good old Uncle Steve, if you know what I mean.
I will say it's good to have movement like that in the MLB. And I definitely think that Papa Cohen is doing a little something, kind of shoving it in the MLB's face a little bit.
And it's like the Mets would make the amount of moves that they've made this offseason, like in years past, but not with this magnitude. Not with all the big guys that they're getting. Usually they just get a bunch of small guys that just fill in some spots, that literally just fill in some blanks. Like they'll get a washed up veteran here and there, or like, a guy who's just trying to make it out of AAA and he's kind of been fringing in and out of MLB, kind of guy, and then he'll get the starting role for like the first month or whatever, and then they kind of just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Do the same thing throughout the regular season, but now it's different. Now it's like Cohen wants to get the best of the best, or at least the best that he can get right now.
It helps that he's a Mets fan.
And it helps that he's an actual fan of the New York Mets and actually cares about his team.
So let's get into some of these moves that happened in the offseason. There's a bunch. We're going to just paraphrase with a couple here, some of the bigger ones. Right, we got Hunter Renfroe, who was traded to the Angels. Jose Abreu signed with the Astros. New York Mets pitcher, I would say is probably my favorite player in the MLB. Jacob deGrom signs a long-term deal with the Rangers. We got Trey Turner to the Phillies, Wilson Contreras to the Cardinals, Yoshida to the Red Sox. Then we got Xander Bogaerts, old Red Sox, going to the Padres.
Yep.
Carlos Correa, not only to the Giants and the Mets, but then back to the Twins. And then, we got Aaron Judge, Carlos Rodon going to the Yankees. Judge re-signing, which makes me extremely happy. He is the captain. The fact that he said that he didn't know he was going to get the captaincy once he signed back until Steinbrenner told him, I find to be BS. It was everywhere in New York. And then we got Kodai Senga, Brandon Nimmo, and Justin Verlander.
Justin
to the Mets.
Verlander, like crazy, man.
I'll tell you what, Kodai Senga, I am very, very excited to see him play.
Oh, same.
And to see him pitch, because I've heard nothing but good things about him, but...
Yeah, so me, I just love baseball in general, and I love Japanese baseball too. I follow the NPB, the Nippon Professional Baseball League. It's a lot of fun there. I even have the video games. I play them all the time, and that's how I kind of am able to follow them. Like Ohtani, I actually knew about Ohtani before anybody else did in America, basically. I think like 2015 and 16 when he first started playing for the Nippon Ham Fighters, and saw that he was gassing it up in the upper 90s, inning 100, and I was like, okay. And then I found another video of him hitting nukes, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, we got something here, and I was like, he may play in America, and he ended up playing in America, and it was a huge freaking deal. I remember all the sweepstakes about it, what team he was going to sign for. It was absolutely insane. And Kodai Senga is one of the guys that I remember following. He had played on only one team, and that was the SoftBank Hawks, I believe, anyway. And he did great. I mean, his ERA was always under, a 280 every single year, basically. He had the strikeouts up and, a decent amount of innings pitched. Like, he'd average, like, about 150 innings per season. And obviously they have less games in Japan. They only have like 140, something like that.
So, and they also have a 6-man rotation out there.
And they
correct?
do have I believe, 5 to 6 man. They usually like to go with the 6-man rotation, I believe.
It's always interesting to see, Japanese pitchers transition over to, and Korean League pitchers transfer over to the transfer over to the MLB just because of the 5-man rotation and the extended season, at least a little bit more extended for the games wise. They put a lot of innings on you, and they hope that you could put a lot of innings into a game.
Yep.
Each team wants you to go 6 innings at least.
And that's the problem with today's game.
And that's the problem because
not a lot of people can do that anymore.
Not a lot of people can do that.
Too many pitches are thrown.
I will say this. I think that they should add another spot onto the MLB roster, and they should open them up to adding another reliever or adding another pitcher to the roster. Just because I feel like it's really, really necessary because you don't want to see somebody like Ryan, your brother. You don't want to see somebody like him, get to fulfill his dream and go up to the major leagues, pitch 2 years, and then his arm's shot because he's just been pitching too many innings.
Yeah.
God forbid that would happen, right? That'd be devastating. Mm-hmm. If you add another pitcher, it limits the innings that these guys have to pitch. Mm-hmm. These starting pitchers at least. They can go 4-5 innings because you have 3-4 guys that can go 1-2 innings apiece in the bullpen, not straining your starting pitchers.
Yeah, I agree with
or possibly just add another slot to the starting rotation. Add
Yeah.
6-man.
Yeah, add the 6-man in rotation because it makes it like the longevity for those pitchers to be relevant and actually work out for them. And yeah, I 100% agree with that.
I think it would be beneficial for the MLB to do that. Just you want to see, we care about. At least the MLB says that they care about their players. The MLBPA that they do their thing to protect their players, but from a fan aspect, just want to see our favorite guys on the field and being able to stay healthy. Because I tell you what, especially with the Yankees, and just as well as I do, injury plagues are real on every team and of every sport. It's very, very real, and it's not fun to have your favorite guys and your key players hurt for an extended period of time.
Yeah, just be gone.
Yeah, it's a real damper. It kind of your sales go down because people are upset. Just for instance, let's say Aaron Rodgers was not to be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers for a Week 18 playoff opportunity game.
Yep.
Right, and they sat him. Right, that would be something like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, exactly. It kind of reminds me of guys like, going back to baseball, like Yoenis Cespedes.
Yeah.
Like he only had that. I mean, yeah, he played that second half with the New York Mets, and he got us to the World Series and blah blah blah. Next season, he actually played a full season with the Mets, but then 17 came around, and that's when he got injured at really bad times. We were actually doing okay with him on the roster, but when he wasn't on the roster, we were playing like shit. So, like I said, it really puts a big damper out on everything for your team, and especially if you love that player, and if for at least for like the sales sake, like the sales are going up and stuff like that, and they'll be going down when they're not playing. And same thing with DeGrom when he was a Met, because he got injured a lot. He missed the first 3 quarters or like 2/3 of the season last year and came late.
Yeah.
So yeah, I absolutely 100%. And like in injuries, I mean, what can we do about that, man? Like,
it's very true. I mean, fluke injuries happen all the time. It's definitely is.
And I will say the league absolutely babies the crap out of their players, and rightfully so, because once they get back, they're actually healthy again. And in unfortunate circumstances, maybe the injury may reoccur again and may get re-aggravated. But most of the time they make sure that they get back at 100% and that they're
absolutely
ready to go.
So I want to ask you, since the off season is practically over now for the MLB, we're not going to see a ton of moves happening from now on. There might be some here and there, but don't expect anything major. Who do you think has the best chance to win the World Series this year? It's just on paper. We don't know what any of these teams look like yet.
Yeah.
Technically we do, but we don't know what they look like yet this year. So
yeah, I saw a couple of posts on Instagram or whatever showing the true contenders and playoff teams and guys who are trying to get in. I mean, obviously my Mets are up there.
Yep, I would agree.
I still think the Astros are up there. They're still a scary-ass team.
I still think that the Astros are the number one team.
Yeah, I think so too. Unfortunate. We don't like to think of it that way just because of what they've done in the past couple of years, but past few years, but it's true. They really are number one. They are the juggernaut of MLB.
Every year you can't count the Dodgers out.
Absolutely.
They always make the moves at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
They always sign the right guys. They always do the right thing. Now, come playoff time is when they're,
is when they're iffy.
They'll always have that asterisk next to their World Series a couple years ago for the COVID year.
Absolutely.
And for the shortened season.
But who knows? Maybe they'll actually press the right buttons and actually win the whole damn thing.
That's true.
That is the beauty of baseball. You don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Being myself and, I would love for the Yankees to be able to compete. I don't know. They won't do what the Yankees need to do in order to compete, and it's because they're a business.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest move you've made was re-signing Judge and extending him and making him your captain, and that's pretty much about it. Rodon, which is good.
Look, everybody in New York would have attempted to get rid of Steinbrenner family. They would have did the same thing with Cashman, right? If they didn't re-sign Judge.
Yeah.
Right? The entire state would have flipped upside down.
Yeah, they would have had his head on a stake.
Right. The only move that I really consider the Yankees doing in the offseason is the Rodon signing. Just because that was the only additional piece that they added to the offense. Or at least to the team.
Yeah.
Given we did sign a couple of other low-key names, but we've been making moves to our staff, not to our roster. We couldn't compete last year because we couldn't hit. Yet we signed a guy for $360 million, and our roster looks the same. So it's going to be interesting to see, but let me just ask you this. World Series prediction right now. AL, NL.
I mean, listen, man. I would love to have my Mets be up there for the National League. Phillies are scary, too. The Phillies are scary, man. I'm going to absolutely hate every single time, every 16 times we freaking play them, hearing 1, 2, 3 in Trey Turner, JT Realmuto, and Bryce Harper, and Rhys Hoskins, and a bunch of others. They have Brandon Marsh now from the Angels.
Well, you're also forgetting the team who actually won the division last year. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The Braves. I think that
and they're
between all the teams in the NL, I honestly think that the three teams that have the best chance to actually compete in the World Series, Phillies, the Mets, the Braves.
The NL East is going to be a bloodbath.
The NL East is going to be a bloodbath.
It's going to be
It's not going to be a bloodbath for just this year. It's going to be a bloodbath for the next bunch of years.
Oh, absolutely.
Because a lot of these teams, Michael Harris, you got Ronald Acuna, Ozzy Albies. You got these guys that are signed for long term. Spencer Strider.
Strider, yeah.
These guys have a lot of talent signed for a long time. So it's going to be... that division is going to be a bloodbath.
I will say this, though. The Braves don't have their shortstop anymore.
It's true. Dansby Swanson is no longer with the team. He's
no longer with the team, and he really helped them out last year.
Yeah.
He really did. It's not just going to be Acuna Jr. Although Harris, hopefully he's not a fluke in their sake.
Yeah.
Because you never know. He's still only a rookie.
Yeah, hopefully for their sake it's not, but we all hope it is.
We all hope it is. We all hope it's a fluke.
So, the MLB The Show 23 just got, their cover athlete announced. Jazz Chisholm is going to be the cover athlete for the main game. And then the captain edition is going to be Derek Jeter. So, I gotta ask, it's baseball. Are you going to be joining and playing and buying the game this year?
I mean, yes. I mean, what else am I going to do? Of course I'm going to buy the game this year.
Now, if you've played MLB The Show, you played MLB The Show 22, you know that working as intended is not good.
Their phrase that they stand by, working as intended, is our favorite quote and saying from them because it's quite the opposite most of the time.
Yeah, quite literally. Most of the time it's the complete opposite. I really hope that they're able to do something with the game and fix some of these main issues with the game because if they don't, it's going to be real aggravating to play again every day.
I know, man. I mean, like, they just need to go back to their roots. They really do. I mean, the new tweaks that they've been making this year just aren't it, man. Like, just the hitting wasn't fun this year. I mean, you'd be hitting perfects foul or right at the infielders every single time.
Perfects as a measly pop fly or, bullet. And it's
I get that. I get the kind of all around context of that. Yes, I play baseball, and yes, I have hit some shots that just happen to be flyouts.
Yeah,
but it's not because I perfect it. It's because I just missed.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of baseball. It's micromanaging, and if you're gonna say it's perfect, it's gone. I'm sorry. There's no such thing as a perfect. That's not a base hit. That's an out. I'm sorry. Like I said, there are times where I get into a ball and it just so happens to be a flyout, but it's because I missed it.
Yeah.
It's because I missed it. Don't tell me that's a perfect, making me feel good that I hit the ball well.
Well, they also think that the PCI that you use, they also think that hitting something, this far down into the PCI, that it's, an okay hit. You hit it perfect right in the middle, it'll be a perfect. It'll say it's a perfect, but it'll be just BS.
I know.
And
it's so
little hit.
It's so bad.
I will say, perhaps, Chuckster, you're definitely right about the Padres. That's just if these guys stay healthy, because they have a really, really good young core, but Tatis, the PED thing last year.
Yep.
He's going to be eligible to start fresh off the season, correct?
I believe so.
You got Machado. He is injury prone. You got, Tatis is injury prone as well. And he's not even going to be playing short.
Nope.
He's going to be playing the outfield. He's most likely moving the center.
It's crazy.
And then, you now have Xander Bogaerts, who's now playing shortstop, and Juan Soto. But Juan Soto is one of those guys where if he's not getting on base, he's kind of just eh.
Yeah, he's kind of just meh when he's not getting on base.
Can't get on, if he's not drawing walks,
he's striking out.
And
he's always striking out.
He really does. He does strike out a lot.
He strikes out so much.
It is a little aggravating when it comes down to for sure.
Exactly. That's the only caveat that I have with them, especially with Tatis, knowing that now he has the PEDs and everything. It's tough to really justify that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, so let's move on to a little bit of hockey talk, huh? All-Star break just ended recently, as you know.
Yes.
I'll let you take it.
So they had just recently, had their All-Star break, as of right now, actually, as we speak, they are starting their second half of the season. The Islanders play the Flyers tonight, and the Rangers play the Flames, in New York's hockey teams. But looking back, I just want to see if I remember correctly who had won. I don't know if it's going to show me the game that they had for their All-Star game, which I actually kind of like how they do their All-Star game. What they do is that they have a 3v3 tournament between each division.
Yeah.
And whoever wins the division shares $1 million. They split $1 million.
I mean, you got to think about it. Sidney Crosby ended up scoring. Alex Ovechkin scored a goal in the All-Star game this weekend, and it was assisted literally back and forth and back to Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, and it's incredible to see that, and because you get to see some of the more prolific guys in the league going up against each other, and it's not like a stacked team, and it's a little bit more lax.
It is a little bit more lax, but like the way that they play, even just being lax, is like still like mesmerizing.
Yeah,
like they're not even trying, and they're still dangling it up. They're still sniping it up. They're still making amazing saves. It's just different in hockey, man. And I'm looking back at the scores right now. I remember, the Atlantic Division, I believe, won the tourney. Actually, no, they did not win the tourney. Was it Pacific and Central? I forget which order this was in. Well, all I know is that Central played the Atlantic, and Atlantic won 7-5. Those two divisions are stacked because you got the Central Division, which has the Oilers and the Avalanche, and they got two dynamic duos in there and a defenseman on the Avalanche as well.
So I gotta say, Connor McJesus.
Connor McJesus, baby.
He is quite literally Jesus.
He is Jesus, man. I remember for some reason, I despised him. I don't know why. When he first came up to the NHL, but like I remember it was like the bandwagon of like either your McDavid or your Eichel. I was Eichel because he was Buffalo. Then it turned out he's a douchebag. So now I like McDavid, and he's actually not a douchebag.
And this just in, Tatis is eligible to return April 20th.
April 20th. Okay, so he'll miss the first.
Thank you very much, Cartman.
He'll miss the first 3 weeks of the season.
So, which is perfectly fine in Tatis's eyes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is. But I will say I very much enjoy the NHL's All-Star weekend because they do fun things.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they really do.
Slap shot.
I will say though, the presentation this year was meh. I will say that. Although I will say this took place, the All-Star game had taken place in Florida, where the Florida Panthers play. I mean, they did whatever they could do there. Next year, it's in Toronto.
Really?
Yeah. You know how much that's gonna get hyped up?
Well, I mean
that's the hockey mecca.
Yeah.
Toronto. That and Montreal. That's like the hockey mecca, and especially Toronto, because they got passionate hockey fans there. And let me tell you, they're gonna hype it up, and they're gonna do something. They're gonna do something fun next year, I think.
Even Toronto can't finish. It's okay.
Even though they are still in the longest drought.
Okay, I hardly even watch hockey, okay?
And he knows that
they're... Right?
They know that they're in a mega drought. They will never win a title.
Right?
They will never win a title.
They literally just can never compete.
They can never compete when it comes... Like, they just choke. They're the matters... They're the choke masters of the NHL. It's absolutely insane. So depressing. It is depressing. And going... for the skills competition in hockey that took place beforehand on Friday night, we had Islanders Brock Nelson win the sharpshooting contest.
Yeah.
That's pretty freaking cool. Knowing that, like, he has become an, dare I say, an elite hockey player now. Very, like, under the radar elite hockey player. And him and Panarin, Artemi Panarin, were in it as well. And they actually faced off against each other, which was pretty cool. But Nelson ended up winning the draw for, the free-for-all that they had. And then for the other side, for the Pacific or for the Western Conference, it was Nazem Kadri and McJesus. And Nazem Kadri beat McJesus.
Really?
He beat McJesus. He did.
He beat that time?
Yeah, he beat that time. So it happened.
Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, McJesus hit 4 out of 4 shots.
He hit 4 out of 4 shots. But, did he though? I don't think he did because Nazem Kadri won. I think it was Nazem Kadri hit the first shot and McDavis didn't. Then he hit 4 in a row because, I remember, at the end of it, they're like, oh, everyone thought McDavid won. But then they're like, no, Kadri won. He actually, he hit the last one, blah blah blah, because I think what happened was McDavid didn't hit the fourth one yet before, and so he kind of just took a last shot, just take the last shot, and everyone thought that he got it, and then that was it. But he didn't, and Kadri Murray had beaten him, so he went on to face Brock Nelson, and Brock Nelson won.
All right. Well, shoot.
So that was really, really cool to see. That was just very nice. Put a smile on my face.
Well, so Islanders had some big news. This past I believe week. Big trade going on. Guys traded for Bo Horvat.
Yeah. So the Islanders had gotten Bo Horvat from the from the Vancouver Canucks for Anthony Beauvillier, who I liked a lot, but we're going to get into in a second how the Islanders pretty much won this trade. Anthony Beauvillier, Ratty, who is a prospect, he was our number 1 draft pick last season, and a first-round pick for this year. Now, I will say, comparing the stats to 1 and to 2, seeing Horvat playing the same amount of games as Beauvillier did, he had, 30, I believe, he has 30-something goals. He has above 50 points. He has 31 goals, 23 assists, and 54 points, and a +3 in 49 games. Yeah. That is very good. And comparing it to Beauvillier, who had 3 goals, 10 assists, and a -4.
Yeah.
In the same amount of games, that is a huge step.
Well, you got
in the center category.
You got to mention that not only after this trade was made, they signed him to a long-term deal.
They did sign him to a long-term deal, and I will say though, I don't know if you heard this, but they did an interview with the GM of the Islanders. I can never remember his name. His first name is Lou. Lamoriello, I think it is. Okay. Lamoriello. He literally, and I quote, said, "It's too long and too much money." But so you hear that and you go, well, why'd you get him? Why'd you sign him for that long then? If you're going to say that. But also at the same time, I don't know, I kind of felt him there because the way he explained why he said it that way, he was just like, what else do you want me to say? It is what it is, but we want him. Yeah. And if that's the price that he's making us pay for him,
it's taking the Cohen aspect of it.
Yeah. I fell for him there. I'm like, okay, you know what? I feel that because how else are you gonna get him?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
And also he's still young. I mean, he was only how old was he was born in 95. So how old is he now? 27? No, more than that.
He would be 27.
27. Yeah, so he'll be playing if he sticks to this contract. He'll play with us until he's 35. That doesn't sound great. Because, in hockey, when you get to, your 31, 32-ish age, that's when you start to fall off. But I still like the deal. I still do. I think it will really help us, in the future when we finally solidify that hole. Even though Matthew Barzal filled the hole for when Tavares left, I will say it now fills in that sniper hole in that center position that we've been wanting for a long time.
It's true. So, now let me ask you. Because not only is he an Islanders fan, he does follow the Rangers as well, and soon we'll have a Rangers fan on the line. How do the Islanders and the Rangers fare going forward the rest of the season?
So I believe the Rangers are still in the top 3 in the Metropolitan Division in the playoff picture. The Islanders are still in the hunt with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Getting into that elusive last spot there for the wild card. I mean, the Islanders, as they stand right now, they're 3 games above 500. They got 55 points on the year, compared to the Rangers, who have 62. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Hurricanes are going to run away with the division because they almost got 80 points already, and we're only halfway through the season. They've only lost 9 regular season games.
Which is a little absurd.
And don't even get me started with the Bruins. They're even better than that.
I know.
It's insane. The Bruins are scary. And I went to a Bruins-Rangers game back in November, and it was a close game, 4-2, but the Bruins are scary, man. They're absolutely terrifying. And if they don't win the cup this year, something's wrong. Something's wrong. They are the oldest team in hockey. The oldest team in hockey.
Look, so when I used to really follow hockey, I did label myself a Bruins fan. And Tuukka Rask was my favorite player, but besides that Bergeron.
It's still there.
He's still he is so good.
So
He's
good.
still so good.
Absolutely, and him and Pasternak and Marchand.
Pasternak has gone absurd.
Pasta is
gone
insane.
Crazy.
Absolutely insane. And their goaltender, Linus Ullmark, who was a Buffalo Sabres tendy for a few years and was mediocre at best. Now he's solidified himself as probably the best goalie in the league. He's insane.
Yeah,
He's absolutely insane. Like, I want to actually get some stats on really quick because it's insane. Linus Ullmark. I just freaking, like, I can't even fathom these stats, man. I believe it's Linus Ullmark, the goaltender. Yeah, hockey goaltender. Linus Ullmark. They have a picture of some guy and skating in a Sabres uniform. But in 32 games, man, he's only lost 4.
Wow.
32 games in net. He has only lost 4. He has a save percentage of 962, which is very good. That's almost 970, which is absolutely insane for hockey. Usually the average is like 950.
Dang.
And his goals against is sub 2. So he does not let anything in. Actually, no, his save percentage is not 962. That was the wrong stat. 937. That's still very good, though. Usually, I want to say the average is like 920, 920-ish area. 930 is when you're actually pretty good. You want to stay away from like the low 900s, and obviously you want to stay away from the 800s because that's not good. But, and I'm also surprised that he only has 2 shutouts on the season, too. But the fact that he's started in 32 games and has only lost 4 of them.
Yeah. I amen to that.
You can't let anything by him. Like, it's insane, man.
So, let's transfer over to some basketball here. There's only one thing I really want to bring up. Maybe 2. So, LeBron is coming up on the all-time scoring leader for the NBA. Passing, I believe, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
I believe so, yeah.
The highest scoring of all time in the NBA. If he was to, which I'm not even going to say if he was to, because he will pass that record, and then some. Will he be then considered the GOAT?
I mean, for this generation, I like to think. Because there was, 3 or 4 generations of basketball. And obviously, the last one was Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's kind of up to you to think about it's either LeBron or Bryant. Because obviously Bryant had he didn't have a shorter career than LeBron. Did he have a shorter career than LeBron?
Well, I believe
Did he play not as much games?
I believe at this point, I think it's been... that's a good question.
It's a great
we'll
question.
Get back to you about that.
Yeah, But, I mean, for this generation, probably, I mean, I don't know, like, for me, it's just kind of hard to respect him just because of how much of a prima donna you can get. But, he's good on the court. He's good. Like, you can't deny that.
Yeah, very, very true. So, Kyrie Irving got traded, and he got traded to the Dallas Mavericks, and they traded Spencer Dinwiddie and a couple other guys and picks to the Nets for Irving. Now, originally it came out earlier today that they the Nets wanted to explore another team possibly joining into the deal. Now, they were not able to get another team into the deal, and Kyrie was just traded. That deal stands. No other team is being added. It just came out a little while ago that the deal is finalized, the trade is finalized, so you won't see another team hopping in there for that. The Nets wanted a little bit more compensation for Kyrie Irving, which I can understand. So, that we'll leave basketball at that. Now, I said earlier that anime was one of my favorite things to talk about, and Naruto is one of my favorite animes of all time. Murph Dog just started watching it.
Yes, I have for the first time. I had once in a while, like maybe tuned on the Cartoon Network and saw maybe like an episode or 2. Seen like YouTube compilations of like Naruto and stuff like that, but never actually sat down and legitimately watched from beginning to end.
Well, so the reason he finally started to watch it, not because of me, not because he just wanted to watch Naruto, it's because his brother just wouldn't shut up and leave him alone.
He wouldn't shut the hell up about it.
He kept bugging him and telling him, watch Naruto.
Uh-huh.
Hey, watch Naruto. Which, hey, I told him, get free reign, please. I'm okay with you saying that. But I gotta ask, you're only 15, 16 episodes into it. How do you enjoy it so far?
I actually am starting to enjoy it. You guys were right when you said like at least for this season, at least for this arc. Mm-hmm. Like it takes a few episodes in to really
absolutely,
for it to kick up, and it's finally started to kick up, and I'm actually low-key excited to watch more episodes.
So for those who don't know, that is the Zabuza arc. I believe it's called the Bridge Hidden in the Mist, the hidden village.
Yeah, the Hidden Village of the Mist. Yeah.
And that's where they fight over a bridge.
Hidden Village in the Mist.
Over protection detail, basically, for the builder of the bridge. I would say the first episode is the first episode. Kind of have to get through that regardless. It kind of sets up the storyline, or at least some of the backstory, but the next couple episodes, you kind of had to bare your teeth and dig in, because the first couple episodes were a little tough to get through.
Okay.
But you got through them. I would say where you're at now, right? It's still, you just saw, right?
Yeah.
So I won't spoil anything for you, but chakra is not supposed to be admitted, right? Naruto was able to admit chakra.
Yeah, so, that's why I was sitting there. I was just like,
crazy strength, right?
Okay,
So
crazy strength.
That's some crazy chakra. So I'm sure later on tonight when we watch, you'll learn more about it, and I'm sure you'll probably be like,
intriguing.
Yeah. So we were talking earlier, Demon Slayer. People, anime is so good.
that show is so good.
So there's a
so
lot of
beautiful, man. So beautiful.
Demon Slayer, the movie, right?
Which kicks off the next season.
It's not the Demon Slayer. They're not doing another movie. They're doing the first episode in theaters, correct?
Yeah, they're doing the first episode in theaters, but in movie format. It's going to be like a featured film, but it's to kick off the first episode of the third season of the franchise.
Yeah, and that's just one of the animes that
1 hour special. That's what it's called, the 1 hour special, and it's basically the first episode of the new season.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that, but that's not even the only anime that I'm very excited for. There's a lot of anticipated animes coming out for this year, right? We got just Demon Slayer alone. My Hero Academia is coming out as we speak, and let me tell you, is fantastic. That the newest season has been phenomenal. No complaints at all.
I've been telling everybody, and there are a bunch of people who I'm friends with who didn't really give My Hero a chance. If you actually legitimately get up to the third season, it gets good. And this season is, I'm gonna say it right now, flat out, by far the best season so far.
So honestly, I think that is definitely fair play, fair take. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. This season of My Hero
you can't
so
deny.
Far, you can't,
season 6 got some style.
You can't take anything.
It is untying so many loose ends, and is just shocking. There have been so many moments where I had literally just sat there and just wow. And even the most latest episode that was released in Japanese almost shed a tear, and it was very, very, very sad.
Very unexpected twist in that latest episode as well. Very unexpected twist.
Very unexpected twist. You didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah, but, besides My Hero and Demon Slayer, we got the Black Clover movie coming out.
Mm-hmm. I still need to catch up on that.
Yep. You're still, I believe,
I'm still
episode 30 or so.
Yeah, I'm pretty much, I'm a third in. I'm a third in.
You got a little bit to catch up on that, but hey, that's okay. Jujutsu Kaisen comes out with another season this year. They're supposed to.
I'm caught up on that. They're supposed to.
Yep. Absolutely. And then Spy X Family. That's another good one. That's one of my up and coming favorites. We're gonna have Blue Lock continuation. We're gonna have a lot of anime coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, You haven't watched any of The Last of Us yet.
I have not. Isn't that an HBO exclusive?
It's an HBO exclusive.
See, that's the thing. I don't have HBO, so I can't watch it unless I'm with you. But I have not watched it. I have not watched it yet. But
let me tell you, for those who have not watched it, The Last of Us. I have not played the game. It's based off of a video game. I've not played either of them. Mm-hmm. I've seen a couple of scenes from the games.
Yeah, I've watched
here and there.
I've watched Twitch streamers and YouTubers play it.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of some short clips and stuff like that.
And heard nothing but good things about it.
But folks, the show is so good. It is so good. Pedro Pascal is fantastic. Daddy. Maybe taking over as Ryan Reynolds. It's possible. It's fantastic. If you have not watched it, I suggest you do. Between House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, and The Last of Us, I feel like the subscription to HBO is worth it. Mm-hmm. Just alone on those 3 shows. And Game of Thrones isn't even out anymore, folks. So, but it's fantastic. I highly suggest you go and try to get in there. Try to watch it.
I know. And one thing I want to add to our TVs and movies that will be coming out at the end of the year, and you and me both watched it and both liked it a lot. Season 2 of Wednesday.
Yeah. So Jenna Ortega, yes, very one of Murph Dog 108's favorites.
Yep.
I'm intrigued to see what they do with it.
I know, especially the fact that try not to spoil it, some characters are gone now. So it's interesting to see where they go with it, because a lot of pretty predominant roles are now gone. So how are they going to fill in that, and what the monster that they had in the show, what kind of monster is going to happen now? I mean, technically that monster's still out there, so will they continue with it, maybe with the second season, or maybe introduce something new and then maybe come back to it on a later date, But I just enjoy that show a lot. I've always loved the Addams Family. I watched all the movies. I even watched some of the 60s TV shows, which rest in peace to the original Wednesday Addams. She had passed away recently. But yeah, that I was so excited to be able to watch that, knowing that Wednesday is she was my favorite character in the Addams Family. Yeah. And I was a little skeptical on how they were going to portray Gomez and Morticia. But they did such a good job.
I will say, Gomez, I love that actor.
I love him so much.
Is fantastic.
I love him so much. I'll get a name on him really quick because I forget his name.
Yeah, I forget his name as well. But that's a good point. I'm very excited to see what they do.
Luis Guzman.
I'm very excited to see what they do, because I don't know which direction the story will turn, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
they kind of left us hanging.
They left us hanging. So, and what they're leaving off with is that Wednesday will be coming back to her second semester. It's not even her second year yet. This all took place in the first semester.
Well, folks, I should say Netflix might be trying to set up a long-term, multiple seasons.
Possibly, and since it was so unbelievably successful. Hopefully, number 2 is that as well. Because if that's the case, then they're gonna continue. They're gonna continue for a while. And and Tim Burton is such a good director, man.
Absolutely. And as long as he is continuing to direct it.
Yeah, as long as he's continuing to direct it. This is his first time ever doing TV shows. He's never done TV shows. He's only done movies.
It's fantastic. So,
but if you look at it, and the executive producers kind of put it in a good way, it's basically a chopped up 8-hour film. It's just an 8-hour Tim Burton film, if you look at it that way. Because each episode was 45 minutes long.
Yeah, it was they were about an hour.
Yeah, close to an hour. At least the last episode was over an hour, I think.
Yeah, they've usually been doing that. A lot of shows have been doing that for the last episode. But that is what it is. Now I got to get to something, because I've been waiting for this. My wife, Miss Non-Clutch, Ashley Perry in chat, and you, my friend. We've been waiting for this game to come out for so long. Folks, Hogwarts Legacy people have been able to play for the last couple of days with, I'm sure a limited time code given from the company that made Hogwarts Legacy. But for everybody who was able to pre-order it and hasn't been able to play since, they will be able to play tomorrow if they got the digital deluxe edition. And that is what I did get, and I can't wait. They've taken their time with this. It's been delayed multiple times. I believe it was originally supposed to be dropped a year and a half ago.
I think so.
And they've delayed it multiple times since. But I cannot wait. I will say I am not a Slytherin. I don't know if you could see my pants. It is yellow as in Hufflepuff. I might be a Hufflepuff, but I will not be afraid to Avada Kedavra.
Dude, you have no idea how many people are going to be using that killing curse spell, man. It's going to be absolutely insane. I see all the TikToks and everything. Like,
yeah.
It would show, like, Wingardium Leviosa, swish and flick. And then it goes to it's like literally everybody at Hogwarts Legacy in the beginning, and then me, and it's just killing everybody.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. I actually wonder if they're going to keep that stat, too. If they're actually going to keep a stat within the database of the game showing which route everyone goes in, because I'm pretty sure like this like game is going to be like more like a like pick your own story, which I'm pretty sure that's what they said. It's an open sandbox. You basically get to pick whatever. You make your own student. You make your own legacy, and I'm gonna get it too. I'm not gonna get the digital deluxe like they did. It's just because for other reasons, but I will be getting it at some point, and I will be absolutely going. I mean, like he said, so excited to play it. I mean, we both love the Harry Potter series, and we can always be talking about that on the show as well, and the new things that are coming up with that. But this is the newest thing, and it ties into our gaming category, which is so fitting enough. And yeah, like you said, just nothing but excitement.
Yeah, absolutely. So soon here, folks, we're going to be having a special guest on, our first guest of the show, but I just want to add a final piece. Look, this is going to be an experiment for all of us. This is definitely something that we're not used to. We've announced kind of in a way, but I think that we've done pretty good so far, if I may say so myself.
Yeah. I will say this, though. We have gone pretty long with our spiel of topics for the first part of this first episode. Just because it's our first episode, we want to get as much information to you guys as much as possible. And
we also did introduce ourselves and kind of give a little backstory into ourselves.
Yeah, and of course. But I will say that, that won't be the majority of our show. We will try to make it so that, half is our spiel and then our guests' interaction.
Yes.
So we thank you guys for sticking around. Everyone in the chat, still here with us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you all for being here. This means a lot to us. I really just want to thank everyone for being here.
Yeah, we're not done yet. We're gonna actually be adding a special guest. Basically in a few moments here. We're gonna get our headsets on and everything, and be able to hear our guests who we're gonna be putting in the chat. Basically at your command. Yes. Whenever you so mightily can. And we'll be getting our first guest of our show, of hopefully many to come. So, we're just basically getting them set up right now. And we'll be in a few seconds.
I can't drag him.
I can drag him. You want me to drag him now?
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to be, and I'm not going to double click him. I'm going to drag him.
He's been a great friend of ours for a long time. Of course, it didn't line up the way that we wanted it to, but
nah.
Hey, that is okay. We'll go ahead and get fixed up here momentarily. But our guest here has been a long-time friend of Murph Dog. I was recently introduced to him a couple years ago, and let me just tell you, he is a great person. He's getting married this week, so it's very exciting for him. But we're We're gonna give it a little bit of time to get adjusted here. Get this
Oh yeah.
adjusted. So how's everybody doing in Chatland today?
I hope you're all doing fantastic tonight on this Monday evening. I really hope
absolutely.
you are.
Mondays don't always have to be so bad.
Oh yeah. That's why we do this every Monday, so that at least we have something to look forward to on a Monday.
Absolutely.
Like that's exactly what we were striving for. Like seriously.
Because look, nobody's a Monday fan.
No.
Everyone has to go to work. It's the first day of work. You got to go to. Starts the week. It's never fun because there's always more work that's got to be done because you didn't work the last 2 days. Now I know a certain mom in this chat does work on the weekends, and I'm very sorry for the fact that you have to, but I love you regardless. So now I would like to introduce our guest to the show, Mr. Slowmo21. Thank you very much for joining us here on this Monday evening. How are you?
I believe he's muted. Oh, he's good. There, I can.
Good evening.
Let me actually turn you onto the stream here. There you go. I believe they can hear you now.
Hello, hello.
There we go.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
I'm doing wonderful. And yourself?
I'm doing rather well. A little bit stressful this week, but always good to be available on a Monday.
Absolutely. Hey, wedding season is never fun. It's always way too many headaches. So I definitely feel you on that one. So man, starting off with this, you want to go ahead and name your favorite sports teams for us right off the bat here?
Oh, sports teams. Well, you name the sport, and I'll go with the team. How about that?
Football.
Football. New York Giants.
Baseball.
New York Football Giants. The New York Yankees. Born and raised in the Bronx. Got to go with the Yanks.
Okay. Were you a hockey fan?
I like the Rangers.
Okay.
Big Ranger fan. Not a big Ranger fan. I recently got into the Rangers about 2-3 years ago. Maybe a little longer ago when they lost to the Kings. That's probably was the first real year that I started watching the Rangers.
Okay. Hey, that's fair. That was a tough way that they ended that too. So,
Yeah.
Feel that. Basketball.
Basketball, not the biggest fan of basketball, but I would say the Knicks. But I also like the Celtics.
Okay. Okay. It's very, very fair.
Yeah. Well, all right. So I like this. Let me set the record straight.
Yeah.
I grew up in a family that watched in the 80s and the 90s. So I watched highlights of Jordan and I watched highlights of Bird. And Bird is my favorite NBA basketball player of all time. So I am a Celtics fan strictly for Larry Bird.
Hey, Larry Bird is definitely one of the all-time greats, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
That Magic and Larry era was something to behold, and I wish I was there for it, but I was not. So I gotta ask you real quick. So since you're a Giants fan, what would you do for the Giants this offseason? What do you think is their biggest need? What would you do if you were the GM for the Giants?
I would lock up Barkley for as much as he wants. I am a big Penn State Saquon Barkley fan. Next after that,
Oh, I'm bleeding.
if we, Danny Dimes. He's good. He's bad. He's great. It's tough to throw money at him. So I'd give him a 2-year deal maybe, but it's tough for me.
That's fair.
I'm on the fence. We need a quarterback, so obviously you got to sign him. But I wouldn't give him a max deal, and I would definitely not franchise tag him. What we do need is a number one wide receiver, and you know who's on the market? Odell Beckham Jr. So I would try to focus on that as much as a reunion would probably be meh. That's where I would go. We definitely shown that we need somebody that can make plays, and Hodgins showed up out of nowhere, which was great. But
yeah, absolutely. Hodgins was definitely a big step up in the late part of the year, but. Nobody showed up during that Eagles game in the divisional round. So
I don't know what you're talking about. Eagles game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough. You know what I mean. It was definitely tough. But
Yeah. So
the Eagles are good. You can't knock it this year, man.
So
the Eagles are good.
You lost to a team that's in the Super Bowl, so.
I mean, if you're gonna lose to anybody, that's the way to go, right?
Yeah. So I gotta ask you, would you press it? Would you say that the Giants need to precedent more of a quarterback or of re-signing Saquon? What would you prioritize out of the two? Because the offense
I
always runs through a
personally,
quarterback.
I would lock up Saquon, um, because he proved that he can carry the team. However, every team needs a quarterback, and you've seen. I mean, but then again, look at the Niners. They went through six quarterbacks this year, and they made it to the championship game. And you know what? Mr. Irrelevant almost got him there.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not wrong.
So it's tough. And then I don't know how deep this current draft class is in quarterbacks, but who knows? Maybe next year.
That's true.
But Daniel Jones has been great.
I mean,
He's been great this year. He was great. All of his numbers this year were by far the best of his career. He
yeah.
definitely played to Dayball definitely brought out the best of his abilities. So like I don't disagree with re-signing him by chance, but I would go with Saquon. But you know what I mean? Like it's tough.
Yeah.
I would throw more money at Saquon than I would at the quarterback in the current Giants situation.
So would you? So if the Giants were to franchise tag possibly Daniel Jones, and they were
I
to sign Saquon to a long-term deal, and they waited next year to draft a quarterback, would you be okay with that?
I no. I think that's too much money to pay Daniel Jones for 1 year. That's just how I see it.
Even though if he
But
leads you
again,
to, even though he leads you to the playoffs and
so
a
here's the
playoff
thing:
win,
you sign Daniel Jones, right? You sign him to the tag, which is we'll say $18 million. It's 1 year, 18 million. That means that if he does get us to the playoffs again, and he does win us a wild card game, sure, and he does win us a divisional game, sure, and loses, not only are we out a draft pick and a higher, to potentially grab that quarterback, we now have to pay him top five quarterback money. Is he a top five quarterback right now? I don't think so.
oh, I would definitely agree with you. So then, maybe they just sign him for a short deal. Maybe they sign him for
I
a
agree.
rookie.
Like a two or a 3 year deal with Jones that isn't over the top money, great, because we clearly need to make some moves. We need better corners or defensive back help. We're giving up too many big plays downfield. For as long as I've watched the Giants, we cannot stop a tight end over the middle, you know.
You're not
And
wrong.
we need, and we need a couple receivers. I mean, Darius Slayton's been great, but he's like
He's a free agent.
the way they run the offense is, yeah, and he's also a free agent, exactly. So it's very there's a lot of pieces, and I don't know what the cap is right now for the Giants. I don't think it's in a good spot, so it's tough.
It's fair. It's very, very fair. So I gotta ask you, how do you feel about the Super Bowl matchup this year? You got Kansas City versus Philadelphia. I know you do not like Philadelphia, but
I don't know what would have given that away. I I think it's going to be good. I think it's all this game is going to come down to one person, and it's Patrick Mahomes. Is his ankle going to hold up? If his ankle does not hold up, this Philly team is going to run through the Chiefs. And I will say that with confidence. I hate it, but the defense of the Philly is going to go through that line, and if Mahomes cannot get around or maneuver or run away, it's going to be ugly and get ugly quick. And I could see the Eagles. I could see it being an extremely close game if Mahomes is 75%. That's all he needs to be to
true.
make it a good game. If he's 50% or less, all it takes is one hit, and then what are the Chiefs without Mahomes?
Yeah, well, I mean, now you have to say when they played the Jaguars, when Chad Henne came into the game, he did leave him down like I believe it was an 80-plus yard touchdown
98
drive.
yards down the field, right to a touchdown. I think he was 6 for 7 or 7 for 7. He was very efficient.
Yeah,
Cool. One drive. Can he do it for 4 quarters or 3 quarters or 2 quarters or even the one drive again? But this Philly defense is built different.
yeah.
I mean,
As I was saying to Murph Dog earlier, that Philly team is just so well balanced. Their defense, their offense, they're so balanced. Well, they could do anything that they need to,
Yeah,
and
they got a lot
that
of really good
Chiefs
pieces this
defense,
offseason.
that Chiefs defense is nowhere as close to as good as that Eagles offense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's going to depend on whether or not the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes are going to be able to keep up.
I agree because this is the formula for the Eagles winning every game this year. They go up by 2 scores, they run the ball. And what do they do well? They run the ball well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is probably going to win MVP. He had an amazing year. He has great receivers, great weapons. But what happens when they go up 2 or 3 scores? They run it down your throat and they run it well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Listen. I tell you, if they go up 2 to 3 scores, look for Sanders and what is it, Scott, to have Boston Scott or Bart Scott,
Yeah.
whatever his name is. Not Bart. I don't think it's
Gainwell.
Bart, but
Kind of game.
yeah, that too. They're all great. Well, Scott scores on the Giants every time he plays. That's why he's in my head. So look for that run, man. They're averaging like 160 yards in the playoffs right now. But if you've watched any of their last, I don't know, what they win, 14, 15 games this year, all of their wins come in the fourth quarter, running it down your throat, time of possession.
You're not wrong there, my friend. So, as we're talking about the Super Bowl here, I want to pick your brain as we both like to do a little bit of betting here and there. So, do you have any bets? You want to possibly throw together a parlay for the stream real quick?
I could probably throw something together. Let me open up this nice little app here. So we got the Super Bowl. I would probably go over on the points. I could see both. They're both really high-powered offenses, but again, it could come around to bite you in the ass. I'm sorry if I'm not allowed to.
You're good.
But
good.
it could come around. It could come around and get you because again, if Mahomes takes one bad hit to that Achilles or his ankle or whatever it was that got injured, can Henny sustain it?
Yeah, you're.
That's the thing. So for points wise, I would take the over because Phillies average 38 points a playoff game, and they don't seem to show any signs of slowing down. So that's 38. That's just 2 scores for the Chiefs, which is going to happen.
Yeah, I definitely would agree there. I definitely see that the over's a possibility. So do we see any touchdown scores? Do we want to go ahead and say one?
Yeah, I will go with 2 scores here, which is Travis Kelce, which has been Mahomes' favorite weapon and most used weapon in the last 2 to 3 years. Travis Kelce's the #1 tight end in the league, and for good reason. Guy barely drops a ball, and he's a touchdown machine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can see, again, Jalen Hurts has scored again in almost every game. They run well, but they get down to that 1 yard line, and Jalen Hurts is not afraid to lower that shoulder and take that sneak up the gut.
You're absolutely right. And
but if I had to throw one more in there, I would say Miles Sanders because again, that run game for the Eagles is a beast.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with you there. So, what else could we possibly throw into this?
Sure, I'm trying to find the things on this app here. So we got the rushing yards here. We got over under on Jalen Hurts is currently set for 49.5. He's been averaging about 48. I would probably go with the under there. It's going to be the Super Bowl. I don't think he's going to take too many big chances. So I'd probably go with the under on Hurts. Sanders with 61.5. I'm going over on that. Mahomes 19.5. Again, depends on that ankle because every now and then he does have to scramble for a first, but
yeah,
if he can keep the ankle
that's a
healthy,
tough one. I think it's an over if he's healthy, but I'm going to stay away from that one.
I would too.
And then we'll go into the receiving or passing yards here. Jalen Hurts for 238.5. I'm going under. I'm actually going to go under on that.
Yeah, I definitely.
I'm going under.
I like the under on that.
Hurts is throwing what he needs to throw to win games. Not saying he's not a good quarterback because he's actually one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch in the league right now. But like I said, they don't risk it. They let them go up 2 scores. Well, they don't let them. Obviously, they earn it. But they go up 2 scores, and then it's a run game.
Yeah.
Mahomes over 292 on that defense. I think I'm going to go with the under on that. But he will have to throw it if he wants to win.
So I honestly think that instead of going with the under on 290. I think I might go with just him getting an alternate of 200.
Yeah, that seems like a good safe sit down bet right there is the 200 because I think both quarterbacks will have 200 in this game. I just don't see Hurts going over 225.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't see it. I mean, last game they did it. Jalen Hurts didn't even throw for 200 yards against the 49ers defense.
Yeah,
Because
I like
the ball.
Devonta. I also like Devonta over 50, and I would think AJ Brown you sit around 25 yards. He has not been used in the last 3 or 4 weeks for the Eagles. So and Devonta's been making big plays. So I see Jalen favoring more of his fellow teammate in Devonta, and then AJ Brown being that big red zone target. So small yardage for AJ.
So, what I piled up here, I kind of just piled up the ones that I really liked out of the ones that you were talking about. So I'm gonna take you on the over 50.5 for the total match points. I definitely agree with you there. It's gonna end up being a high scoring game. I see Philly scoring 30 easy.
Yeah.
And Kansas City's gonna need to score over 20 to keep up. So I'm not entirely sure if it will happen. This might be the toughest part on the entire parlay, but Travis Kelce anytime touchdown scorer, Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown scorer, I think it's pretty solid there. And Miles Sanders, I think that is very solid as well. Hurts under 49.5 rushing, Hurts under 238 passing, and Mahomes over 200 passing. I think that's a good bet.
Yeah, and right now for FanDuel they have a promotion going for the Super Bowl. Bet 10 or more, and if you lose your bet, you get your $10 back in FanDuel credit. So if it's something you guys are interested in, throw that $10 out there, and then worst case you get that $10 back. But I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you think there'll be what the NFL like to call a scoregami?
I'm sorry, but go ahead and explain to me what a scoregami means.
Scoregami is a unique score in an NFL game. So setting history with a score that has never been done before in the NFL. The odds on that now are plus 1,800 for yes and minus 8,000 for no, because have been a lot of similar scores throughout the years, but a 2-0 game has never been done. Not saying that it'll ever happen, but it's one of the odds that are here. So I just figured I'd ask that out because I saw it today and I was like,
that's a good
that's
question.
Interesting.
That would be kind of cool.
With these two high powered teams, listen, you could have a 60-58 game. Who knows? It all comes down to the defense, but again, it all comes down to the big arms.
I wouldn't mind having a
run
shootout
game.
Super Bowl this year.
That's true, but the thing that comes down to it with a shootout for the Super Bowl is there going to be enough time for them to score that many points?
Yeah, no.
Because
right?
unless they do it on 2 or 3 plays every drive, I think it's going to be really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But if look at the 49ers last week, they lost two quarterbacks and they were down to McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles took advantage. They were like, we don't need to throw the ball anymore. We're just going to run.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
And then it's three and out.
Let's hope that let's hope it's not one-sided because God, man, that was suck. It was just
listen. Nothing will be as bad as that Broncos Seattle Super Bowl.
Oh my
man.
God, you're not lying.
That game was a tough watch.
That was horrible.
Honestly, and this may be the Giant fan in me, but both Giant Super Bowls against the Patriots came down to basically the last possession, and I would love another game like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true. When you get a tight game like that comes down to the very last second.
That one big play, David Tyree catch,
defining play,
the Manningham on the sideline, like those big defining plays that set up the drive for the game winner.
Those Super Bowls were exciting.
You live for that stuff.
Those Super Bowls were exciting. I will absolutely not doubt you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
any player to record an octopus, which is score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion on the same drive.
That's called an octopus.
Octopus, really? To score a touchdown and then get a 2.
So Travis Kelce scores the 6 points for the touchdown, and then the Chiefs go for it for 2, and they throw it to Travis Kelce for 2.
Again.
That's called an octopus.
Wow.
Interesting.
I mean, it makes sense. 8.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess so.
eight, eight.
It makes sense. You could call it the Crazy 8 as well.
Look at that.
I
Devonta
like
Smith
that.
will
Crazy
have
eight's
over
pretty good.
100 yards. We'll see.
Yeah, that's what my brother Nick says in the chat, that Devonta will have over
their
100.
defense, Kansas City's defense is not very good.
Nope.
So, I mean, given they played decently well last week against Cincinnati, but we'll see because those are two completely opposite different teams. Cincinnati has a shite offensive line, and
they've been hurt too. So, but
Yeah,
they're missing. I mean, listen, they lost Tyree, but Juju and Tony. I mean, they don't use Tony a lot, but Juju
Yeah,
and Tony can get it done.
Murph was talking about MVS earlier, Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah,
And he went off last week, man.
he went
I mean,
off
they
last
got
week.
weapons.
And especially if they can shut down Kelsey, the Chiefs are going to have every other way to give Scantling the ball, and he can absolutely get it done. He's
Yeah.
a sleep. He can be a sleeper in the Super
Well,
Bowl,
he's fast.
and
So
he's
that's
fast.
why.
Yeah.
He cooked the Eli Apple guy pretty well.
So now I gotta ask you because we were able to do this 2 days ago. We went to go see the Sword Art Online movie, and I gotta ask you, how'd you like it, man?
I could watch those progressive movies for days, man. They're beautiful. It's well done. They're slightly different from the books, from what I've been told, like by just a little bit. But basically, I mean, it's amazing. It's Sword Art's one of my favorite animes of all time, and this movie's really good. I mean, both movies were good.
Absolutely agreed. I will say that this movie was a step up from the last one.
I agree. I think this movie was really good. That was my cat.
Yes,
Um,
Bobby.
Bobby doing his thing. But I agree. I think the budget was a little bit bigger. I mean, you could really tell in terms of like the boss animations and like the fights and just overall everything about it was just that one step further than the first movie laid out, and it's only going to get better from here. I really hope they keep continuing with these progressive movies because he's still writing these books.
Yeah.
And it's what everybody wanted, which was all of Aincrad, and it's only Aincrad. There's nothing else but Aincrad.
Absolutely. And what in the last movie they only got up to level 5?
Yeah, they're. Oh, yes, thank you, Jolly. I see you're in chat. Yes, you were the one who showed me Sword Art. They only got to floor 5. There's 100 floors of this, so there's
That
a
is
lot.
pretty cool.
And
That's pretty cool.
I
like how
believe
they're
he
doing
said
that.
he's doing. I think it's like 2 to 3 floors per book, maybe. Like it's at least 2 per book, and he's releasing them like. He's trying to release them once a year.
So in that case, let's hope he lives that long.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So like I read a lot because I listened to the audiobooks, and the audiobooks were amazing, and they gave you a lot more that the anime didn't have, but they stayed very close to the anime. And then because that's what the anime was based off of. He entered this story. I don't know if you guys knew this. He entered the story as like a one-off for a contest. So he entered he was like, "Oh, let's do this story, enter it into a contest," and then it took off. And then he was like, "Let me add more." So that's why the season 1 of Sword Art Aincrad is just so fast. It's just this is the story he put together for this contest, and that's what got the anime adaptation. Now because he loves it so much, he's going back and he's writing the progressive books, which is floor by floor by floor, event by event, learning the mechanics of the game that they're stuck in. This cat.
Yeah, you're right about that. So I gotta ask you, the last thing I want to ask you here on the show is, what is your most anticipated anime or movie anime that is coming out this year?
Black Clover.
The Black Clover movie?
The Black Clover movie. I am so in on Black Clover. I have dove face first into this manga, into this anime, and I cannot get out of it. I bought every pop that's been released. I want the swords. I'm in it. So I'm very, very excited for Black Clover, and I'm super excited for the continuation of Demon Slayer.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's still a lot that I need to catch up on. I have not yet caught up to Attack on Titan, so I cannot say the finale of Attack on Titan.
I will say this though, because we didn't talk about this when we were talking about Demon Slayer. What are your opinions on the new Hashira that are coming up? You got the Mist Hashira and the Love Hashira.
I know
Yeah.
a lot of people.
So without, because I know that I am further than you guys because I finished reading the books. They're awesome.
Okay.
Like the story that's coming, like it's gonna pick up, and then you guys are gonna, your minds are gonna be blown. And if they keep up the level of animation that they've been doing thus far with Demon Slayer,
for sure.
it's going to blow your minds. It's reading it, I couldn't stop. So that's why I finished it in like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean it's really it. The Mist and the Love Hashira are a really good combination, and they have really good chemistry. So like the story that you're about to see unfold coming up, and I believe it's like the village of the swordsman or something is the arc. It's gonna be really cool.
Awesome.
I am very excited for the Demon Slayer season to come out.
And
Mr.
Black
Slow
Clover.
Mo, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I really can't thank you enough for being our first guest on
Anytime.
the show.
Anytime.
Any final words for the people in Chatland before we send you out of here?
No. Have a good one, guys. I love your faces.
No, love you too, man.
Me too, bud.
You have a good rest of your night.
You got it. Peace out, boys.
Peace out, man. Adios. Well, chat. So, our first guest comes and goes. You got any final words for us before we end the show here?
First episode comes and goes. I mean,
First episode.
and like, we've pretty much reached the 2 hour mark on this. I like to think that like we'll try to get like maybe like an hour of episode like per episode.
I was thinking like the max that today is a little long.
Today's
but
an
I
exception because it's literally our first episode, so we're gonna have to like I said, we wanted to put in as much content as possible.
Absolutely. But I will say, probably about an hour and a half every time.
Yeah, like an hour to an hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
Yeah.
We don't. The main thing is we're gonna make sure that we don't go crazy talking about our stuff.
Absolutely.
And, we gotta make sure that we let we give a couple topics and we throw them into the chat land, stuff like that. Well, thank you all for attending. A special thanks to the waifu in the office, keeping the doggo quiet for all this time. He is a challenge, and I appreciate you. Anything else, man?
Oh man, pretty much covered everything, and I'm excited to do more.
So how should we end this thing? Should adios, and that's how the Gabagool goes, or what? I don't know. How do we do that? Man?
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll be getting there.
If you're not doing Gabagalooza, then I'll see you in Lollapalooza. Adios. See you later. Good night, folks.